We can join our players in game number 1 of this grand finals. Spawning in the upper right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have Dragon Kitesy Gaming's Dark. The Red Zerg player, 2019 World Champion, BlizzCon Champion. His opponent, the most recent IEM Katowice winner, making him the current World Champion. It is the Blue Terran, Oliveira. Man, I hope you guys all watched Katowice when it happened. That was like such a good tournament. It was so good. Just all around. Everything about that tournament was so enjoyable. But Oliveira taking the crown at the end, taking the trophy was so... It was so precious. It was such a good moment. His interview on stage. Actually, I kind of memed on it a little bit. Where he was like, I'm just a normal man. Like, these guys are all gods, but I'm just a normal man. And even I can win. You know, even I can beat them all. And that's what the run felt like, right? Like, Oliveira is obviously a very strong player. But as we saw in that last match, it felt like Hero got too fancy for his own pants, you know? And he tried to do like some crazy stuff, and Oliveira like kind of handled it well. And I don't know, it's always a weird series, I feel like, that Oliveira wins. He'll win like kind of a weird feeling series, and he just did that over and over and over again in Katowice, and it was so cool to watch. It made StarCraft feel fresh in a way that I feel like hasn't happened in a few years. Anyways, I don't know if he beat Dark on his way. I don't think Oliveira and Dark played. I feel like they were on opposite sides of the bracket. So it'll be cool to see this here and see how they handle each other. They've played a billion times. I don't think it'll be anything crazy. Dark protecting his creep tumor. So far, very, very standard stuff. Pretty quick third CC here for Oliveira, so he definitely wants to get into the later stages. At least deep into the mid-game. I feel like this is a late Ling speed for Dark. But I kind of like that. I feel like he's not going to need the Ling speed. So, better to spend your money elsewhere. Oh man, my thumb just split. I end up with really dry thumbs. That feels like that's a weird thing, but super dry thumbs and the corners split a lot. Really annoying. Anyways, enough about that. We have a little bit of action in this game as the Hellions and Reaper try to dive up here, check out the third base, but they're just going to hit some queens. Just run into those queens and back on up. Dark going for a lair. 4-minute lair. What are we going to see here from Dark? That feels like a very deliberately kind of early lair. Is that crazy early? He's got 3 bases, but it's 40 drones, 4-minute lair. Very intrigued here about what we're going to see. Oliveira's playing this standard, solid. Cloak Banshees are really important. We probably won't see them get like a ton of drones or anything. The reason you make Banshees, especially against Dark, is because roach pushes are a thing, and Dark loves doing them. Dark also likes to be a little cheeky from time to time. And so we're going to see the Nidus go down here. This is just going to be a Ling Queen Nidus. Pretty straightforward. 3 more queens on the way. It's just going to be more Lings on the way as soon as he gets unsupply blocked here. And this Nidus is going to go up probably in the main. But you know what? Look at this from Oliveira. He's actually got some Marines up here. He doesn't have any dead space in his main to speak of. As long as he's paying attention, he will spot this. Now, that being said, he does not have a ton of units, and if he sends these 2 Banshees out right now, which he probably will, he's not going to have a lot of DPS to take this down. I don't think 3 Marines actually does it if the Queens pop out first. On the other hand, Ling's getting caught out on the map here. The Nidus is going to go down. The 3 Marines are going to try for it. SCV is getting pulled. A 4th Marine. Oh, and the Banshees were not far away. So far, there's a great defense from Oliveira. And the Hellions are dealing with the Lings that were trying to hit the front. Oh, this is going beautifully. Shuts it down completely. New Nidus going to try to hit outside the 3rd base. Oliveira not really going to be able to keep this base up. Maybe we'll be able to hold on to it. Got a lot of Hellions here. Again, the wall getting hit, but Oliveira just seems very ready for this. The Lings almost get the surround, but he finds the cute little spot by the geyser, and he just shoves this right on away, and he's getting Marines and tanks up behind this. He's got Stim nearly done. Oliveira in a great spot. The Nidus finally finishes, though. He missed that one. I missed that one, too. I didn't even see that one on the minimap. And uh-oh. Dark's pushing forward. There is a siege tank here. These Marines have Stim. 2 medevacs are on the way. You can't transfuse these buildings. The buildings, that is. So this Nidus will go down. The wall is getting busted. Where are the Hellions? The Hellions over by the 3rd. Oh, they might need to be here, though. The Lings. The Lings are going to go after the Hellions once again. The Hellions are getting such good trades, though. So many Lings have died, and Dark's just on 44 workers. Nidus in the main base, though. Is there an oversteer? There is, so these Banshees need to be careful. They're not being careful, but the Marines, there's so much Stim. They overpower the transfuse, and Dark is forced to tap out. Oliveira holds on in game number 1. Despite the Nidus finally starting to come up, it just wasn't enough. The Nidus outside the base wasn't scary enough. He tried to get one in the natural. He finally got one in the main. But by that point, it was too late. There were too many Marines. The medevacs were out. The DPS was just so high. How high? So high. And now we're getting straight into a game number 2. We're going to Dragon Scales. Oh, man. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. This series already shaping up. Honestly, I love the play from Oliveira. It was so safe and solid, and we really see why you have to have all these units, right? The Banshees, crucial. I think they killed 2 Niduses. Like, the Hellions can't really do that on their own. The Marines couldn't have done that on their own. Banshees were crucial there. They also help a lot against the Lings, just getting on free damage. But the Hellions... Oh, everything about that was just beautiful. Beautiful. From this man. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Dragon Scales. For Dragon Katowice Gaming, it's Oliveira. And that was a stellar game from him. His opponent trying to take a cheeky win there, trying to get the cheesy aggression on, but got shut down and is now down a game in this best of 5. His teammate for Dragon Katowice Gaming, it's Dark, going for an early pool. Is that a 15 pool? All right. I see you, Dark. Worth noting that Oliveira did go for the low ground expansion last game, a Reaper expand, which is quite vulnerable to this. Those Lings can avoid the Reaper on the way. The Reaper often ends up hitting about here as the Lings hit right here. That's a brutal spot to be in. Even with 1 Marine out, it doesn't often stop that base from being at least delayed, sometimes even forced to cancel, depending on what happens. I've seen the Reaper die across the map because the Terran gets it into the base and then goes, oh, there's Lings. Oh, micro, and looks back and the Reaper's dead. Or, jeez, Dark. What are we doing? What are we doing here, bud? Roachborn going down, gas being taken as he takes the hatch. We do have an SCV scout from Oliveira. This is crucial. He needs to cancel this immediately and build it on the high ground. All right, so Oliveira spots the Lings, spots that this base is coming up. He needs to cancel. He doesn't spot the Roach Warren. Oh, but he needs to cancel. I think, right? I feel like the Roaches get here in time. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe he can hold on to it. It's halfway done. Roaches still have to cross the map. They're not even done yet. Could be wrong. Is there going to be a replay pack for this? Project 7, I'm sorry to say that these replays are not divulged to the public. If you want replays from players such as this, I mean, the best way is to join the KSL Patreon. Exclamation mark KSL for that link. Both of these guys have played in the last few KSLs, and we'll be doing that weekly. And for even just the minimum amount on Patreon, the $5 a month, you will get replay packs from every single tournament. Almost every single replay. There's always like one match that I don't get the replays from. But most of them, at least, I get them. But sadly not from the ESL Open Cups. They do not send the replays out. Oliveira gets the base finished, but the Roaches are here. The bunker is not done yet. A couple more SCVs going to have to come out, as Dark is starting to get some Ravagers up. He can start to put some biles onto these little guys here. SCV's trying to come repair, but he's just going to lose SCVs that way. I think just letting that depot fall is the way to go. Although it does supply block him, so Oliveira needs to worry a little bit about that. I think he's going to have to lift this CC. Great lock-on onto the Ravager. Actually does quite a bit of damage to it. It's another lock-on, this time onto a Roach. Good pullback from Dark. But there's a lot of Marines out. Reaper goes down, but I think Oliveira actually has the hold here. Oh my god, he's got to be so careful. It's just the Ravager left. Gets the lock-on, and he gets it. Avoids the bile. And he should be able to kill this Overlord as well. I would say, yeah, great cleanup here from Oliveira. He does lose more, but because he's on 3 CC behind this, totally worth it. Dark's third base just went down. Dark is only up a few workers. That is not where you want to be as a Zerg player. Now, he does have a bunch of Lings going out on the map. He's counting on Oliveira counterattacking. And as soon as Ling speed finishes, which is in 7 seconds, these Lings are going to hit in the counterattack. He's got a few Lings back at home to help defend. Dark supply blocked, but he's going to grab this Cyclone. Great catch. He's going to get these units out in the middle of the map, all on their lonesome. He's going to get into the base. The wall goes up just in time. Tank pops out. There are a couple Marines, but SCV's going down. Mule's going down. This Cyclone desperately trying to get back to the tank, which friendly fires and kills it. Oh my god, this tank doing so much friendly fire. Depot going to fall. This is excellent damage from Dark. He went from losing at that attack and I think being in a worse position to now he's in a much better spot. Took advantage of Oliveira trying to get across the map, get some damage done. And I mean, this is still super annoying for Oliveira to deal with. The friendly fire from the tank is actually insane. And now the Lings are going to get on top of everything. Great unsiege. That is such a key unsiege there, as we saw that tank not afraid to kill Marines and SCVs. Close to doing it again. Dark getting into +1 Carapace now. Probably going to stick on like a Ling Roach composition. Interesting. Oliver getting into stim now. He's got 3 Raxes up. Getting a starport. Looks like he might want to try to push, but he doesn't have stim. I feel like at this point you got to start to wait for some of those upgrades. Wait for medevacs to come out before he can really put pressure on. But that's going to give Dark a little bit of time here. Dark's got a 4th base on the way. He's actually got... oh, it's a macro hatch. I was just going to say the one thing he doesn't have is any tech, though. So he's got to get into a lair. He doesn't really want to build any more Roaches until he has Roach speed. In fact, he's going to drop a Bane Nest. So it looks like it might end up being like a Ling Bane, maybe Ravager combo. This Ling single-handedly stopping the CC from landing. This is one of those, like, doesn't make sense in the the lore things that's happening. But you know what? The only way I could see that making sense is if we assume that like orbital command centers and whatever aren't flown by people, they're flown by AI, and the AI is told not to land on any biological units or something. I don't know how that would work with like non-biological units, but that's my in-game reasoning for why they won't land on Lings. Oliveira out here with quite a few Stim Marines, though. The Lings are actually going to have a little bit of trouble cleaning this up. Marines are going to be able to trade a little bit against them, but the Queens push the medevacs away. Keeps the base alive. And Double Drop not getting a ton done here, but keeping the Lings back, that's going to allow Oliveira to take this third base a little bit more easily. Marines trying to take a cute little fight here, but there's nowhere to really drop. It's really good. He's just trading with 1 or 2 Lings at a time. Maybe not necessarily worth the APM. Dark going for a 3rd hatch in the main. The double macro hatch, getting his infestation pit. Not bothering with roach speed. Just going for +1 melee, +2 carapace, getting centrifugal hooks for the banelings. He's getting a lot of stuff going right now, but Oliveira is starting to push. Is there enough Ling Bane here to stop this? Dark's not trying to stop it. He's going for the full counterattack. He says, you didn't leave anything back at home, did you? He's absolutely right. And now Oliveira is caught between a rock and a hard place. He does have some units here, but the door was open. No! Oh, Oliveira closes it, but it's so late. This tank is doing its best, but it's going to get jumped on. The SCVs are pulled. They're going to die. Oliveira tries to dive forward, but the Banelings trying to get on top of the Marines. They will not, though. They will not succeed, at least not the first grouping. Dark pulls back, but look at the damage he's doing in the natural. The third base has been lifted. 26, 27 SCVs have been killed, and more are going down every second. Oliveira might kill this third. He might even get the Bane Nest, but Dark's got so much. I think he can clean this up, and he's done immense damage on the other side of the map. Oliveira rebuilding the wall. He's going to be able to retake this third in a little bit, maybe. But the Lings come back. But, I mean, this is brutal. He's supply blocked because this was a supply depot wall. And now, yeah, he killed this base. Oh, he killed the Bane Nest. The new one halfway done. And he can't keep pushing. He can't keep pushing from this position because he can't reinforce this position because he doesn't have a third base. And there's Lings out on the map. And the moment he unsieges, these Lings could jump on top of him. He's trying to move this CC, but the CC is just watching all these Lings and Banes underneath that are going to stop it from happening. The Banes bust through the wall. There's nothing back at home for Oliveira because he's been supply blocked for 100 years. And, I mean, I don't even know what he's got at this point. He picked up tanks and a medevac. I have no idea where those tanks went. But this is looking like GG as Dark just has way too much. There's Lings in the base. There's Lings in the base. And the Marines are all dead. Oliveira going to win this with 7 Marines. I believe. Oh, wait. He's got more than 7 Marines. Hold on. 14 Marines. 13 Marines. 12 Marines. There's 87 Lings on the map, guys. He's fighting it out to the last. Are we sure this isn't fantasy? No, it's not fantasy. He still had 15 army supply. GG gets called. Dark evens up the series with some excellent play. Honestly, it was that first Ling run by, I think, that put him ahead, and he just kept getting ahead. How? We were all in a party, and then everybody left the party. I don't know what happened. Oh, now we're missing somebody. Maddox. There he is. Okay. Going into game 3, we're going to Gresvan. Man, the series has been so good. Honestly, today has been so good. The games have been sick. Especially, like, the last series was super good. This series was super good. Was it Dark versus Scarlet earlier? That was a dope match. So many things. So many things, so little time. Let's hop in to this tied up series. We're here 1-1, spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Gresvan. We have Dragon Kitezy Gaming's Dark. Looking very strong, very solid in that game too. Despite game one going his opponent's way. An excellent defense of the Nidus. In the lower right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran, Oliveira. Dark being cheeky in both games, though. He had like the Roaches and Ravagers last game, which I actually think Oliveira did a really nice job deflecting. It did feel like Dark was in an okay spot, but Oliveira had 3 CC, which is triple Mule. I think in the world where Oliveira just defends his natural, deflects those lings, he's way ahead. Because Dark was a little bit behind economically, I think, or like even economically, and then made a bunch of lings. He had already lost his Roaches. So if he makes all those lings instead of drones, and then runs across the map, and then the lings, a bunch of them die, and he doesn't get any damage done, I feel like Oliveira's just so far ahead. But it's just unfortunate. Dark really took advantage of Oliveira doing like what he should do, you know? It's one of those things where like if you're coaching somebody in StarCraft and you're like, well, you just stopped his attack, you're taking your base, push across the map with your units because now you might be able to get some damage done, you'll keep him at home. Dark was like, he's going to do all of these smart things and I'm going to take advantage of it. And it's one of those things that can really only work at the highest level because players who aren't this good aren't going to send units across the map right after holding. They're going to be scared, right? The rest of us, we play afraid most of the time. We stay at home with our units. We don't like pushing across the map. It's scary. I only have 2 Cyclones. I got to keep them at home just in case I get attacked. But at the highest level, a pro player would never do that. They're too smart. Ooh. Oh my god, he doesn't go for it? What? He just lets that base happen? Wow. Anyways, I love to see those high-level plays. I think it's really cool thing to see, man. Also pulling back these lings that are like 2 hit points. Dark's just too good. Oliveira doing what looks to be the same build from game 1. I guess it was probably pretty much the build from game 2 also. He just changed it up in game 2 because he had to defend the Roaches. But, yeah, pretty similar. It's the 1-1-1 quick third CC. It worked out well for him in game 1. I don't see why he wouldn't do it again here. Trying to find an opening for that Reaper. Roach Warren goes down in the main for Dark. We are 3.5 minutes into this game, and there's a Roach Warren behind the main mineral line. Dark's getting spicy again. I love it, man. Dark is so... He's so, like... I don't even really know how to put it. Scatterbrained isn't quite the right word. It's like he does everything on the fly. Yeah, there are some players who plot and plan out certain very specific builds and like they pull them out in a specific order in a series, and Dark will do some of that sometimes, but it also feels like he's winging it about 95% of the time. And he's like he's got his great big book of builds next to him, right? It's got like 500 pages and he just flips it open to one page, points at a build, and he's like, all right, I guess I'm doing that one this time. And then sometimes the next game he'll be like, oh, I know a good one that combos with this. But I feel like the majority of the time it's just flipping open to the next build. What do we got? What do we got next? Oh, we're doing the same build twice in a row? All right, cool. It worked in game 1. I don't see why it wouldn't work in game 2. I saw 8 Roaches in the production tab. Did he? Okay, I thought he canceled the Roaches. I got so scared. He didn't cancel Roaches. Nope, they're coming across. Actually going to miss these Hellions by the tiniest fraction. The Hellions could try to dive in and get counter damage done. Unfortunately for Oliveira, he has like nothing else back at home. Okay, he's about to have 2 Banshees though. These 2 Banshees are going to have a lot of work to do. SCVs are certainly going to fall. Marine eating some shots here. The SCV is going to pull back up to the high ground. And yeah, the Hellions are going to counterattack. I love this move. Dark immediately pulls the drones, though. Oliveira's really got to pay attention. And there's enough home, it looks like, for Dark to hold on. 10 SCVs go down, and Dark keeps all of his drones alive. Granted, this was a lot of investment into the early roaches. He's not going to get that mule even. So 10 SCVs for 8 roaches, though. The Hellions don't get anything done. Only 1 dies. Honestly, I don't hate this for Oliveira. He's on 3 CC. He's got a couple of mules still mining. He's fully saturated as natural. He's about to take a 3rd. Dark's in a good spot economically as well. Not taking any drone damage there was huge. But the Hellions are still alive, so he does still have to be a little bit concerned about them. Ooh, and now the Banshees are going to come in. There is a Spore Crawler here, but yeah, this is great. This is great from Oliveira. Gets 5 kills. His 3rd base is planted. He's dropping mules at it. He's going to SCV it up. I don't hate this for Oliveira by any means. The Banshees will get pushed away now, but they've done their job. They killed the roaches back at home. They got a few drone kills. Now, I think they might just want to trade with some, not trade, kill some, man, words are hard. Creep tumors. They might just want to kill some creep tumors. This Overlord is somehow alive. It finally goes down. Yeah, they're just going to come home, be part of the happy defense here. I'd love to see some SCVs on repair. Dark, man, he's gone up to 79 drones, though. It's one of those crazy things, man, is he just... Dark will do this where I'm like, oh, that was pretty good for the other player. And then I look down and Dark's just hit the drone key the whole time, and he's at 80. Oh my god, never mind. Oliveira might be dead, I don't know. Is that pathogen glands on the way? Dark just getting ready to go into infestors. He's got the hive on the way. We are 7.5 minutes into this game, and Dark did an aggressive opening. He's still way up on workers. He's ahead in tech. The army supply is very similar, but if Oliveira started moving across the map, Dark could just build a bunch of stuff. And he doesn't have a ton of money, but he's about to have some infestors out with enough energy to fungal. He's got a handful of roaches out. He's dealing with these drops. This is tough for Oliveira because he wants to be out on the map. He wants to be putting pressure on, but he just hasn't quite gotten to where he can do that yet. Now we're hitting the point where he can. Stim and combat shields is done. He's got his 1-1. I think he can start to put some more concerted pressure on. And yeah, we've got Banshees moving around the left side. We've got a little bit of a push through the middle here. I don't know, not a push. This is a drop. That's going to work on this base a little bit. Maybe trade with a handful of lings. The 1-1 really going to help here. Oh, but the fungal. It doesn't do anything, actually. And Oliveira can just lift up and get out. Meanwhile, this little drop, a couple of units going to die there. Trades with a few roaches. But now Oliveira is ready to push out. The Banshees seem to have really gotten too much done. They went in, pushed away by the Queens. Might want to join up with the rest of the army. There are Hellbats here. Banelings being morphed. Oh, Vipers are on the way, but those Vipers are not really going to be here in time, I think, to help with this. Unless this push lasts for a long time. Dark's going to try to jump on it. The tanks are not sieged. They're going to split backwards, and they will siege up. It looks like one's going to get taken down by Biles. No, those Biles somehow completely whiffed that tank. It's actually wild how that tank was just right in the middle of them. There is a lot of bio here to support these siege tanks as well. Dark needs to be really careful. The splits from Oliveira are great. Not a lot of room for good fungals at the moment. Dark being very patient, but he is going to lose this base. He's going to have to pull the drones away. He's been mining a lot so far, though, so he does still have a lot of units out. A lot of stuff. Oliveira's army is not to be trifled with, though. He's got more units showing up. Again, the split has been so good for him. He needs to keep this bio pre-split against the infestors, against the banelings. Yeah, this is looking beautiful. He's killed 2 bases. Now it's a 3-base Zerg. Massive counterattack of Lings trying to come in here. But look at the reinforcements from Oliveira. He stims them. I think he's got plenty, but he just triple stimmed these units. There are some medevacs coming up, but at the same time, the blinding clouds Ooh, they're done though. They've run out, but it looks like the bio has mostly run out as well. Over just a little bit of bio left. He's going to lift it up and get out of there. But Dark is down to 120 supply. He lost all those Lings in the counterattack. Yeah, he holds that off, but he lost a bunch of stuff in the meantime. 2 bases going down. He's got 74 workers, but they're mining really inefficiently right now. It's a lot of long distance mining. The Vipers did come into play. That push lasted long enough for the Vipers to be important. But Oliveira is taking a 4th base. And while Dark's got his 4th and his 5th being made right now, this is not where he wanted to be economically. Pretty much even with the Terran, who is up in army supply. The upgrades are even at the moment. But Oliveira is pushing on the right-hand side, the top right. And Dark just spotted this, so he's moving into position now. And Oliveira needs to siege up these tanks. Oh, that Viper. Oh, he's going to go for the lift. Viper wants the parasitic bomb, but it's not going to happen. At the same time, Oliveira killed this base down here. Maybe it was a cancel. I'm not too sure. The fungal is going to stop most of those units from getting away, but they've already done their job keeping Dark on just 3 hatcheries. He's got 4 and 5 on the way, but Oliveira is not stopping the pressure. He's keeping it on. The supplies are dead even at this point. The Vipers are so big here. I love the Liberator, though, on the drones, forcing Dark to engage. Big fungal to start things off. More Ravagers being morphed. Lings and Banes trying to dive in here, but the Marines are holding strong at the front lines for now. And 11 drones have gone down in the meantime. Dark is in a real problem right now. He's going to try to go for another counterattack. He will be able to catch some reinforcements here out in the middle of the map. This is a lot of Lings counterattacking, and it's a little bit sooner than last time, so I don't think there's enough reinforcements out for Oliveira just yet. So these Lings are going to be able to do a lot. Parasitic Bomb on the medevac. Oh, man, but great splits. Nice biles as well, though, from Dark. The supplies are still dead. Even those Lings, they go in. There's a few units here from Oliveira. He has been keeping them. Oh, look at this position. It's so good. The Widow Mine actually hurting Oliveira, but this position behind the depots is insane. And the trades are, again, so strong for Oliveira here. He's going to clean up this counterattack. He's keeping the pressure on. He killed this base. This base can't mine. Dark's on 63 workers. He is down 20 supply. The Biles come in. They take down the Liberator. They are going to chase this back. I think Oliveira might need to stim to get out of here. Oh, but look at this bio showing up. He needs to be careful. He scans. He sees the infestors. He's going to try to drop the tanks on the high ground. And Dark's going to have to back up. This sucks so hard for Dark, though. He does have this base to the bottom side, and he's able to mine from this one now. But his mining, he's rebuilding drones, but it hasn't been great the last couple minutes. And he knows it. Oliveira, in the meantime, has a 5th base. The worker count is even. This is such a good position for the Terran, but a lot of his units are hurt. He doesn't have a lot of healing power right now. I feel like he's been losing medevacs. He's down to 5, making a couple more. He's going to try to dive into the main base here. Let's see if Dark is ready. It looks like Dark is heading up there, but at the same time, Oliveira goes through the middle of the map, and he kills this base. He's been through here so much, there's no creep spread. The drop gets pushed away, but he forces a cancel on that base. He needs to lift up and get out of here. He needs to lift up and get out of here. Woohoo, the fungal. Oh, this medevac. 20 hit points. Oh my god, and Oliveira dropping down here as well, forcing the drones off the line. He comes back in with his drop. Oh, the infestors. Oh, he gets one. The other one gets away, but just barely gets transfused. But somehow, some way, Dark keeps that alive. But even one infestor at this point, I guess I was going to say it's huge, but there's 4 more on the way. I guess maybe it's not that huge. Oliveira sieging up in a really annoying position to try to dislodge, but there are some Vipers out. There's 3 Vipers and 5 infestors. Dark knows how to utilize these late game units. We don't have any ghosts out yet from Oliveira, which might be really good for snipes and EMPs. Dark's just going to dive in. There's Widow Mines, though. The Lings and Banes do not do a great job. And now it's just the Ravagers and a handful of Lings. The infestors are going to be so important here, but the tank sieging forward make that so difficult. Another round of Lings and Banes. One tank gets biled down, a couple of good fungals. Dark gets some decent shots off. Has to pull back. He's got 3 full energy Vipers now, though. Maybe even some Vikings here. Oh, there's the Ghosts. We got Ghosts coming out. Some of them hitting the field already. 4 more being produced right now. Liberators as well. Oliveira knows how to do late game TVZ. I love this. He's unsieging most of the tanks, but leaving this one. Can this hit over there? Man, Dark is just too good. He spotted the little spot on the ground. Oliveira trying to get some damage done over here. Gets a couple of decent Widowmine shots, but gets out of there with the medevacs and the Marines. Dark, finally, the pressure has lessened on him over here on this side of the map. So he's got his 6 bases up. He's got 82 drones. But in the meantime, Oliveira is on 81 drones, and he's on 6 bases as well. I think Oliveira is still quite happy with the situation. But as it gets later and later, Dark is so strong in the late game. We've seen this already today in the ZVZ. But now in the ZVT, we get to see Dark at, I would say, his best. His late game ZVT is second to none. It's so strong. And we see the run by of the Lings and Banes diving in on this 6th base. That 6th base is no more. In the meantime, Oliveira continuing this push, the same position he's been pushing so far. He does have a drop down here as well. The medevac's going to go down, so these Marines are all forfeit. But he got 9 drone kills, so he's getting some counter damage. Obviously, losing this base was super painful. Looks like he's just going to go for the retake. Big fungal on a lot of the Ghosts. That second one doesn't quite hit, though. God, this Ghost is so low. Down it goes. Never say die. Oliveira decides to move around to the other side. God, he has so many tanks. 11 siege tanks out here. Adrenal is started up, but it is not here yet. Oh my God, the Lynx and Bane's just getting plastered. Yeah, this side not going much better for Dark either. I talked about how good he was at this, and then, wow. I feel like that fight just did not go well for him. Look at the resources destroyed here. Huge wins for Oliveira. It doesn't feel like he's getting too much closer in, but there's so many Widowmines here that are all poised to go off again. Dark needs to take care of them. He knows where one of them is. It's so hard to see them under creep, though. He does kill a couple of them, but Oliveira gets a base kill. That base hadn't mined, but now it will continue to not mine. And Oliveira stopping this base from mining over and over and over again. Oh, these Widowmines. They don't get the shots off. Lings are too quick. Oliveira wants to take that base to the top center as he keeps his pressure on. But Dark, very good at the counterattacks. We see him hitting in here once again. He's going to kill a lot of stuff. These are 2-3 Adrenal Lings. Oh, Jesus. Big shots. Banelings coming in on the base. Not enough to kill the base, but enough to kill 10 SCVs while this base is being either killed or forced to lift and get out of there. At the same time, Dark's starting to clear some of this. It looks like a lot of the Ghosts died. In fact, oh my, no, only 5 Ghosts died. There's only 2 left, though. You know what? I feel like Oliveira doesn't have enough Ghosts here. And because of that, Dark is starting to push through it, blinding clouding each individual siege tank. And the tanks are getting okay shots. A couple of snipes going off, killing a Viper. But that is it. Looks like all these tanks are going to get taken down, except this one. 1 tank and a couple Widowmines left over here. But this position is done. Oh, Dark, please. he missed that last bile. And Oliveira gets pushed away. Look at the supplies after that. Dark at 149, but Oliveira was knocked down to below 120. And oh, the snipe's getting broken here. It's kind of brutal for him. He's starting to reinforce this position, but he's got so little here now. And Dark supply is starting to jump up again. The worker count is pretty much even. But it feels like maybe Oliveira's lost a little bit more. The Infestors pop up, get 1 fungal. They do get kind of killed and EMP'd. But it'll buy enough time for the rest of these units for Dark to just push through. Oliveira lifts the tank up in the medevac, and then the medevac dies immediately afterwards. Oliveira trying to pull back, but oh Man, Dark with the splits on the Widow Mines. He's just got too much stuff. I think I just saw an EMP on Banelings. That was pretty incredible, honestly. Dark should just be able to push through here. We see a scan go down to spot these infestors. I don't think the infestors even matter. I feel like the Ravagerling Bane crushes through this. And Oliveira is trying to pull back to the high ground. He's trying to just hold his natural a little bit. But we've got tanks coming out and just dying to Ravagers here. Lings and Banes diving up the ramp. Some snipes going down. Hey, you know what? Dark might have overextended a little bit. That tank finally dies. Dark decides to pull back. He's still at about 150 supply. Oliveira down to 111. Actually supply blocked. Despite having like 47 command centers, he's somehow supply blocked. He's going to try to retake this third. He's got 6 depots on the way somewhere out here in the map. Dark pulls back. He's just remaking his units, getting a lot of Lings out, going for a heavy Ling Bane composition. Dark doesn't have a lot of money, though. He is certainly not rich. Might need to take some gases. He's almost entirely on minerals right now. In fact, he's mining from 1 gas. That is insane. How is he only mining from 1 gas? He needs to take some more gases, man. He just needs to put these drones here. But he's so focused out on the map. Widowmine's trying to defend this base, but God, that is so many 3-3 Adrenalings. Even with some good Widowmine connections, that one killed as many Marines as it did Lings, it feels like. It looks like Oliveira will push this away for now. But he just can't seem to hold on to this position. Dark keeps on coming into it. Dark trying to take this base. He wants to take his whole half of the map. He's playing this safe. I will say Oliveira's supply has jumped right on back up. It took a little bit, but he has caught back up in supply. Dark tries to come in here and stop this position from happening, but good splits from Oliveira. He's got a lot of ghosts here. And Dark decides to pull back and just try to defend his base. Oliveira pushing forward a little bit. I don't know if that is a good idea. He does land an EMP, though. These Vipers are completely out of juice. The ghosts get hit, though, and now the Lings come in. And I don't think this planetary is going to be enough to hold on. Some more bio shows up. Is it enough bio, though? There's some Widow Mines that are going to burrow. Get some okay shots. The planetary holds strong. 8 SCVs die, but Oliveira pushes that back. Oliveira takes the supply lead. 44 more Lings on the way. Those are not Banelings yet. A scan goes down, kills some of those infestors. There's only 1 infestor left after all of this. That tank is not going to do absolutely anything here. And oh my God, that medevac has 21 hit points. I think the Vipers are dead. There's no Vipers. There's 1 infestor. All those units, Dark, had been building up and building up. Their energy has been so important in this game. They're gone. And now it's kind of a regular army from Dark. Yeah, these Lings are super good, but oh my God, the Widow Mine connections. 17 kills, 21 kills. And that is excellent cost efficiency for the Terran player right now, who's barely losing anything. Couple of tanks, couple of Marines, and he's killing so many Lings. And remember, the economy is still pretty much even. Dark is going to be able to take down another Widow Mine, but Oliveira's got to drop to the bottom side. It's kind of a hodgepodge of units, but he's going to try to focus down the base. The Lings are trying to get on top of this, but medevacs are pretty good. A couple of these units get left behind, but a lot of them do get out of there. A few SCVs going, or a few drones going down. Widow Mine's out in the middle of the map getting kills. Dark can't hold on to this base. He's counterattacking. He's counterattacking maybe the least important mining base of Oliveira. There's only a few patches left, and Dark is forced to tap out as he can't hold on. Oliveira brings that game back from the claws of defeat. Honestly, so back and forth, so close that whole time. I can't believe Oliveira pulled that one out. That is actually wild. What a game. Dark's late game is so good. And he got those infestors and Vipers out, and I was like, that might be it. But he never got into like higher tech other than that. He didn't have the economy to get into lurkers or to get into ultras or anything of that nature. He was just on Ravagerling Bane, and it worked out okay for him. But once he lost those high the energy units, right? The infestors, the vipers, the high gas units. Remember, he wasn't mining any gas. He could not replace them. He needed the Lingbane right then. And I think the lack of gas really, really hurt him. Oliveira going up 2-1. People might have said he was washed. I don't know. Oliveira looking pretty good. You know, after he won Katowice, I feel like this last week, actually, during the KSL, somebody was like, Oliveira hasn't been performing super well. And it's kind of right. Like, hasn't been having the most impressive games for sure. But it feels like he was like, oh, no, he was just chilling, you know? Now he's sitting up in his chair. I was saying on Thursday, like, oh, he's playing the games. He's got his leg up on the table. He's leaning back. He's probably playing on a controller, you know? He ain't worried about it. He's chilling. Now, though, now he's really playing. And, man, these games have been so impressive. So impressive. We're at match point here. Royal Blood spawning in the lower left-hand corner. We have the red Zerg player for Dragon, Kitesy Gaming. Dark, who's looked so strong lately, I feel like, and has been winning a lot of these weekly tournaments and stuff. But his opponent says, no. Remember, I'm the world champion. In the upper right, the blue Terran. It's Oliveira. Yeah, it's been such a sick match. I think last game started with like it was like an 8 roach push from Dark too. But the game just developed such a weird way. I think Oliveira's pushes, he had a few pushes through the middle that just did a little bit too much damage. Again, Dark was just never able to get up fully into the tech I think he needed. Like all of the tech options. Dark often likes to develop in multiple directions. That way he can choose where to go. He can surprise his opponent. Get the lurkers out. Then as soon as they counter that, you're like, boom, ultras. Boom, hot swap to Lingbane. And Dark just never was able to get there. Never able to get to any of those extra units. It was just Ravager Lingbane the whole game. But let's see if Oliveira can close it out. He is up 2-1. Oh. Need to take a breather. Throat's a little sore, you know. Jaw still hurts a little bit. Too much talking. Too much excitement. These games are just too good. Guys, can you tone the games down a little bit? Maybe instead of playing some of the best StarCraft I've ever seen in my life, can you just play like decent StarCraft? I'm just kidding. Give me more. Give me more. Always more. I've been watching this game for like 12 years. Been playing this game for just as long. Been casting this game for 5 years. Actually, I started casting this game. My first StarCraft cast was in April of 2018. So I am very close to hitting that 5-year mark of casting StarCraft. So I'm very happy about that. This game is so good. I have not been sad casting StarCraft, like, at all through that time. It just keeps getting better and better. And now with the KSL and this ESL Open Cup every week, I'm getting some of the best Korean players against each other every single week, twice in a week. I feel so blessed to be able to do this. Like, if you told me when I was first started casting, and I was casting the SEA, the Southeast Asia Weekly, on OSC with Anansi, if you told me then, like, hey, in a few years, you're going to be casting the best Korean players of all time. I mean, Oliveira's Chinese, too. They're not even just Korean players. They're just the best players of all time. I would have been super stoked. And I still kind of feel like that pretty much all the time. I hope you guys are enjoying the games today, because I know I am. Dark scouting with the Overlord to see what exactly is going on. He hits the drone key. So no cheeky roach play this time. Dark playing it so far very standard. It was about 4:45 lair here. A little more standard than that game 2-1. We might still see something cheeky, but I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty standard play out of Dark right now. It is certainly out of Oliveira. He's got a few Hellions out. Going into the Cloak Banshee, he's going to grab his third base. Everything is looking very normal across the board here. This is so far the least interesting early game of all the games. Mostly thanks to Dark, who's kept it very spicy. But yeah, so far this game looking pretty solid, pretty standard. Oliveira's got Stim on the way. A couple more barracks going down. He actually got into a lot of Marine production, so we might see a big 1-1 push here out of Oliveira. He's got that double E-Bay. 1-1 on the way for Dark as well, though, and he's got the Bay Nest finishing up. Banshees come in and get exactly 1 kill. We're not really getting too much damage done here. Oliveira just kind of chilling, both players macroing, but that's a little scary for our Terran player, because I'll tell you, you give Dark like 3 minutes to macro, the man is going to be so far ahead. It's one of his big strengths that I see happen a lot is a lot of those early attacks he tries to do, like that he's been doing this series, he'll just try to get a little bit ahead. He'll try to delay the Terran a little bit, because if the Terran gives him just a minute, Dark just has so many drones. He's got so much tech. He just is ready to go. And we saw that a little bit last game, but Oliveira was able to push before Dark was fully ready and get a lot of damage done with that first push. I don't know if that's going to happen again this game. He is starting to put some pressure on. He's going to clear some creep here. Ooh, might find some Banelings. Those Banelings do not have roly-poly speed just yet, so they got to be a little careful. They have a lot of Ling friends, and the Queens are coming over to be supportive. Oh, trying to bait out the Widowmine shots. Great splits from Dark. Widowmines, though, pull up, and they're going to burrow back into the ground. Widowmine's getting good connections, but there are way too many Lings behind this. Oliveira's going to have to lift up and get out of here. Ooh, actually pulling the Hellions over. That's kind of nice. Kind of forgot those existed. And this is a really nice reason to keep those Hellions alive as the game gets a little bit later. They come back in, and all of a sudden the Lings feel so weak. Baneling's trying to move forward, but they don't get the connections they're looking for. The armory is done. These are Hellbats now. Oh, those Banelings, though, getting a beautiful connection for Dark, and that might be enough to clean this up. A few more Widowmines show up. The Hellbats are going to get lifted up. All of the Widowmines die, though, and Dark pushes this back up to the high ground. Now, granted, Oliveira's on 67 SCVs behind this. He's got 3 bases. He's feeling pretty good. He's got more barracks coming up, though. He wants to keep the pressure on, and that momentary hold by Dark puts such a hurt on this momentum-based build that Oliveira is going for. There was like 3 Banes that hit, and it's wild that the difference in this game, I think, is just going to be those 3 Banes, because Oliveira's push feels so much weaker now. It feels like it might get a little bit of damage done, but even that, it's like a friendly fire Widowmine. Forces these units to lift up and pull away. Oliveira does still have a lot of stuff out. Looks like he's going to go for a Widowmine drop. While he pushes on the left, he's still got this double drop on the right. So Dark needs to be very, very careful. But at the same time, he drops an Ultra Cavern. He's got Adrenal on the way because the Hive is done before 9 minutes in this game, despite all this pressure. And this is what I'm talking about with Dark, man. He's still on 81 drones. Right now he's handling this pressure beautifully. There's a Widowmine drop coming in, though. Spore Crawler going to help a little bit, at least with detection. Dark pulls away, but he's going to lose 12 drones to that. Armor is dumb. Doesn't really matter. Again, the Spore Crawler's there. Baneling's coming up to try to deal with these Marines. But the Marines did force a cancel or kill on this base. You know what? This is going pretty well for Oliveira. Dark is finally taking some damage. But he says, I'm counterattacking. You got units all over the map. I don't think you have enough to defend this third. And oh my god, he is so right. Lings get in. Adrenal's not quite done yet, but it don't matter. That is 24 dead SCVs. Oliveira is pressuring with like 2 Marines right now. He does have a drop in the main. It looks like he's going to lose the medevacs though, so that is about that for the drop leaving. But doesn't need to leave if it's just winning the fight. Lings are definitely going to have to come clean that up. The third base was hurt pretty badly. But Oliveira is definitely getting some good counter damage on. He's trying to take down the Ultra Cavern. The Queens are here, but they don't have transfuse. There's one transfuse. It gets it. It saves that Ultra Cavern from those last few Marine shots. I can't believe there was enough energy for a transfuse on one of those Queens. And some friendly fire Widow Mines, some Lings and Banes. Gonna clean this up. I wouldn't mind doing a decent job, but oh my god. Yeah, these Widow Mines are actually holding really well for Oliveira. This shot on the ramp was beautiful. Not a lot of Banes left for Dark, so Oliveira has a moment to counter push here. As these Banes try to morph, they will all be canceled. Uh-oh. This base for Dark is in a lot of trouble right now. Dark's still up a little bit of supply, but a lot of it is in these Zerglings right now. A few Ultras come out, though, and look at how hurt these Marines are. Widowmine's going to connect on the Ultras when they really needed to hit the Lings. Oliveira is forced to retreat, and Dark's going to be very happy about that, especially since Chitinous wasn't done yet, so he really didn't want to fight. 47ers, thank you, by the way, for the gift sub to Kanoya. Kanoya, welcome to the flock. Courtesy of 47ers. Oliveira going for a double drop, going to try to hit the south side. He's got a double drop on the left side, and he's pushing through the center. He's trying to hit multiple places at once. Widowmine gets a nice shot off there. These Widowmines have been very cost efficient for Oliveira. It's probably the only thing that's been cost efficient for him, but they certainly have been. 288 Lings going down. Well, push in the middle, still being annoying. Double drop on the right, going to grab a Queen and stim into this fourth base. Meanwhile, double drop on the left-hand side, grabbing a few drones. Might be able to stop this +3 from happening. Dark coming in here, but down goes the Evo Chamber. Oliveira pulling Dark apart right now. Dark goes for a counterattack, though, and that is a dead base right there. He's not going to be able to bust in here, it looks like, but the third CC is in a lot of trouble, as are all of those SCVs. So Oliveira is getting a lot of damage done, but so is Dark on the other side of the map. It's happening. We got some base trade action going on. Finally, the Ultra Cavern eats the dust, bites the dust. I don't know. One of those things. But there are a few more Ultras on the way. Still a few Ultras left alive as well. Third base gets cleaned out. The fourth base dies for Oliveira. He is in a rough spot economically. Dark did eat some damage, but he's got 71 drones. This base stays alive, and he's still on 4 bases. He's even still got some mining left in the main to do. This ended up a lot better for Dark. Oliveira puts the space back down, but it's going to be a while before that's mining again. The third CC is mining again, but Dark's going to push this back off of creep. Oh no, Oliveira killed his own Widow Mine. Friendly fire the wrong way. Rest in pepperonis. Oliveira, though, he's got some Liberators out. There's no answer for those Liberators just yet. Widowmine kills an Ultra. That's kind of a rare sight. I guess Spore Crawlers are pretty good here against the Liberators, but oh man, Dark diving through this. Widowmines and Liberators getting great shots. Baneling's getting okay connection. Queen's trying to deal with the Liberators. It looks like they will be able to do that. Is there enough bio left to fight here? Oliveira under 100 supply. Dark, though, only on 120, but oh, a juicy fungal. And at the same time, 19 more SCVs went down. Oliveira gets out of there with just the medevacs. And I don't think he's got enough. He's on 29 SCVs. Yeah, the army supply is kind of similar, but honestly, Ling Bane is really supply efficient. So I just don't think it's going to be enough for Oliveira. It looks like he'll hold on for now. He's got a lot of medevacs and a few Widow Mines back at home. But what is he holding on to? He's got like 4 SCVs mining between these 2 bases. And Dark realizes it. He's like, I'll just pull back. I'm going to drone up a little bit, retake the 5th. and secure it. And I think if Dark's able to just do that, I don't see a way for Oliveira to actually take this game. This is going to be so difficult. I feel like he has to take a just insanely good fight. But every time, even when he takes a good fight, it feels like there's also a counterattack killing 19 SCVs. He's all over the map. He's pulling Dark out of position. Dark counterattacks and does just as much damage in one fell swoop. But Oliveira's going to go for it again. He's not giving up. He believes in the dream. Widowmine's again getting great shots. Double drop heads into the main. Oliveira killing a few creep tumors over here. Maybe stopping some long distance mining. Might even be able to kill this base. But what did I say? Oliveira comes in, does a little bit of damage. Dark comes in, does just as much, if not more, in no time. And it really shows you the power of the counterattacks as a full medevac dies. Ah, that is just brutal. And this drop pushed away as well. Widowmine's getting great shots, but it's just not enough to keep Oliveira in this game. He's down over 50 supply now. He's knocked back to 3 bases, but his main and his natural, I mean, his main is floating away. He desperately needs a 4th. Not that he has SCVs to put there. Dark has another 5th base finishing up. Should be able to send a few drones over to it. Oh, these are burrowed infestors. I thought they were drones on the mini-map. Oliveira is going to try to keep on pushing forward. But now he's pushing up a ramp. There's no base here. Dark can just pull back. Oliveira is taking, but look at this, 7 out of 16. He's just got nothing. And this infestor. Oh, where's it going? It's just watching. It's watching for now. It is possible to see that, but Oliveira is not noticing it. At least not yet.
Go, go, go.
You see this little guy moving around? You see the little guy moving around? He's just moving around. Oh, Widowmine's just getting connections in the middle here. I just feel like Oliveira needs so much more than that. He needs just the best fight of his entire career right now. 34 to 62 workers, 79 to 100 army supply. There's infestors, ultras, and lings and banes. Oh my god, there's so many infestors out for Dark. I just don't know that I see it happening for Oliveira. The lack of ghosts here is painful, and he certainly doesn't have the money for them. Dark, though, he's kind of giving him time. Like, Oliveira's got a nice setup here. Oh no, the changeling army, dude. How do you know which Marines are real and which are fake? The nice thing about this for Dark, too, is I feel like Oliveira is going to think he's got more army than he does. Look at this. He's got so much stuff here. Some wings go in. Trade with a few units, but oh my god. That Widowmine has 31 kills when it dies. Jesus. 568 lings have gone down. Like, the trades have been pretty decent for Oliveira. It's just the mining has been more than pretty decent for Dark. He had better mining this whole time. But I think most importantly, he's got these infestors, and they've just kind of burrowed around. They pop up, get a fungal, and all those units die. Oliveira needed to be cost efficient with those units, but it was Dark who was cost efficient. It's just so much better for Dark every time. He's mining so much more. He's gonna move around to the left-hand side, and I feel like this is kind of a dicey move almost for Dark, but try to go in for a counterattack at the same time with some lings. Widowmine's doing a great job, but there's just so many more units behind it. Oliveira does have a lot of army supply. He's gonna try to come up and fight this. The lings and mains might be able to just dive in and kill a bunch of SCVs before Oliveira can get back. These units over here do pull back. It's like 12 full energy infestors. Yep, 12 full energy infestors. The 4th base, the most important base for Oliveira, lifted. Every single SCV is killed. And at this point, Oliveira's got not much left. He's got 21 workers. He's going to go for a push. He's got like a couple of ghosts and a couple of liberators, but oh, a juicy fungal, and there is just so much Zerg. GG gets called. Dark ties the series up. It ain't over yet. It ain't over till it's over. And it ain't over. Dark says, we're going to game 5, baby. Ah. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, I'm yawning. I'm also excited for sleep. As good as these games are, part of me is like, why does it have to keep me up so late tonight? I've been so tired, and I know I'm gonna stay up for another like hour after this because it's impossible to go to sleep right away. I gotta shower. Oh, the sacrifices we make for StarCraft. We make some big sacrifices. So far, they've all been worth it. Every single one. Neo-Humanity is map number 5. We had a caster in the player slot for a second there, so make the same joke we always do. What a good series. What a good series we've got going on here. This has been a good day. We've had a lot of banger matches, man. Honestly, I only watched game 2, but Oliveira Gumiho was a really sick game 2. Well, let's hop into game 5. Our last game of the day. It's been a great day of StarCraft, and we're going to finish it off with an excellent game. I know it. I believe it. I guarantee it. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Neo-Humanity, we have the Red Zerg for Dragon Kitesy Gaming. Dark. And his opponent in the upper left-hand corner, the Blue Terran. Also on Dragon Kitesy Gaming. Oliveira. In fact, Dragon Kitesy Gaming has some insane representation right now in this tournament. Since the merger, now they have just like all the best players over here. They are looking to be a dominant team, dominant force in the region. Now, Dark played that last game very, very standard. There were no early roaches. There was no early pool. No early lair for a Nidus. Nothing like that. It was like the most standard, solid stuff that we've seen. I wonder if we're gonna see that again. And it worked out quite well. Ooh, Oliveira going for a reactor first. No Reaper here. Interesting play. Dark's going to come in and scout with the Overlord. Yeah, this is kind of looking like maybe a similar build out of Dark. Similar opening. He's not mining very much gas. And I think last game... Oh, you know what? I don't think last game was the delay on link speed. I think that was a game a little while ago. That was the Nidus game, actually. I think that he delayed link speed. So I don't know. We could be looking for something cheeky here. We'll keep an eye out. Oliveira's going straight for Marines, though. He is skipping Reapers altogether. You know, I never really look at this area. It's kind of interesting, though. It's no high ground, so it's all this low ground stuff. We got like buildings here. I love how the scale of everything just doesn't line up at the least. There's just like, does that mean a person would fit in one of these rooms? It just doesn't look like it lines up. It certainly doesn't line up with the Marines. Dark pops in with a couple of lings, but despite the unbuildable plates distracting Oliveira for a second there, they'll have to run away. Is that ling speed? So what does Dark do this game? I think he's got to be suspecting some sort of early game push. This many Marines, I feel like you might be expecting a 2-1-1, the 16 Marine drop. But Oliveira is not going for that. Not at all. He's showing these Marines. Then he's got like a couple Hellions behind it, a medevac. Okay, so I guess he's going to do a single medevac drop of Marines. And he's going to try to run Hellions in at the same time. That's got to be it. That's the only thing that really makes sense. And with no add-on on this barracks. All right, puts the tech up down. I was going to ask if he was going to go into mech following this up. Could be really interesting, but goes into the tech lab. He's got a second barracks going down on the reactor, so the follow-up here does look like it's going to be bio, but definitely potential for some damage to be done. Dark doesn't spot this drop. He's going to see the Hellions now. What does he think? What is he thinking? He's probably thinking lings and queens are pretty good. I think I should be fine. But the medevac's going to go around the side. It's going to avoid these queens. The overlords will spot it. Are there enough lings out to deal with this, though? Lings and queens diving into the main now. It's just 8 Marines. They don't have stim. They don't have combat shields. I think Oliveira's going to have to get the hell out of here. But now the Hellions come in. There are some lings to try to deal with these. 5 drones go down. But it looks like the Hellions will die as well. Yeah, they don't even trade with the lings, really. The Marines get pushed away. They're going to try to kill this overlord. They get him. Counterattack by the lings. There is a full wall here, though, so Marines will be able to hold. And Marines and Hellions dive back in. Getting a couple more kills, pushing these queens away a little bit. This medevac is super low. Oliveira has to be very careful. I think he got some decent damage here. The worker count's pretty similar after that. A little more similar than I think Dark would like. Dark was forced to build a bunch of lings he didn't really want to build. His lair's at a decent time, but yeah, these Evo Chambers actually a little bit behind, maybe. Evo Chambers and a Roach Warren going down. Interesting choice to go for the Roach Warren and not the Bane Nest. Oliveira has +1 attack started, but yeah, he needs to get that armor going as well. Stim is about to finish, so now he's got a chance to get even more damage done. It looks like these lings are going to stop the third from happening, at least for a little bit. That might give Oliveira an opportunity to push in with this triple drop. Now the 4th base is on the left side. Dark is taking the one behind the gold mineral lines, gold mineral patches here. Not a lot of transfuse energy on these queens, though. His base could be in some trouble. Where are the lings? Oh my god, the drones pulled the fight. 7 drones go down in a heartbeat. Transfuses, there's just not a lot. Oh my god, these Marines are doing so well. There's another transfuse. 11 drones going down. Medevac's getting picked off. There's not quite enough Marines to actually push through those queens. It was super dicey, but a couple of key transfuses. 11 drones dying for the cause, but the cause was staying alive, so I think it was worth it, keeping those queens up. This drop can still be annoying here. Maybe clear some of this creep. 6 roaches on the way. But during all this, also Oliveira able to take his 3rd base. Worker count still a little bit in favor of the Zerg, but not as much as I think Dark would prefer. And this drop continuing to be annoying at the same time on the right-hand side. We've got some units here, and you know what that means. That was an F2 from Dark, I think. F2's... Nah, maybe it's not an F2. Maybe that ling was just on the wrong control group. I don't know. It looks like the queens are going to fully push this back. Kinda. Honestly, the Marines are trading really well with the queens. Oh my god, they're going to kill all these queens. At the same time, we've got the Widow Mines over here. The drop in the main gets pushed away, but drones going down on the left side. Dark handling the right side pretty damn well, but the left side not happening. Oh, and a few roaches come down here, but not enough to fight these Marines. Overlord gets popped. Oliveira doing a great job. Look at the worker count after all this. Yeah, Dark is up in army supply, but it's on Roach Ravager. That's not the biggest deal in the world. The big thing for Oliveira is that he's on pretty much pure Marine. Here's finally a siege tank. I think that's the only siege tank, though. Siege tanks are going to be hugely important. The big thing here is Dark's plan is to not stop building Roaches and Ravagers. And you know what? Oliveira has realized this. He's got that siege tank out. It's in a nice little position. He's got a bunker up. He's got another one on the way. Oh, he's got double siege tank production right now. But I don't know if those tanks are going to get out in time. He's got a lot of Marines here, but I feel like he might need more than Marines. Biles going down, taking down that bunker right away. Is there enough here? SCV's getting pulled off the line. Oliveira just trying to survive. This is so much Roach Ravager out of Dark, but the Roaches are mostly dead. The Ravager's getting targeted down by the Marines. The medevac staying alive, and Oliveira starting to hold, but another group of Roaches comes across. Dark supply is still way up there. The Roaches split to deal with the tank shots, but there's 2 tanks all of a sudden, and Oliveira starts to push this away. Now the army supply swings in favor of the Terran. He lost a lot of SCVs. He's down to 50 workers, but he's got 4 command centers, and he just killed a ton of army. The trades were so good for him. Dark has an economy, but it's not the best economy in the world. He's not sitting on 80 drones over here. He can drone up, but that's also going to give time for Oliveira to get this SCV count up. He's got triple mules. He's not going to be that far behind in terms of the economy. The mules will buy him enough time to build the SCVs and keep up a little bit economically with Dark, who's now on Roach Ravager, what I would consider a slightly inferior composition against Bio Tank. Right? There's a reason you see Ling Bane against this all the time. Roach Ravager is decent, and it can do some good stuff. But Oliveira held that first push, and that was crucial for this game. I actually am favoring Oliveira in this game right now. I think this is looking good, really good for him. That being said, Dark still has a lot going on. He's got his 2-2 on the way. I mean, he's just going to have like a bunch of Roach Ravager. He's also got some space on his side of the map. Although Oliveira is trying to push in now, but he's pushing it and he's finding what's not there. There's no base there. He scans the middle. He sees Dark is in fact taking that middle base that's protected by a lot of creep. And also this little slow zone here makes it a little bit harder for Oliveira to push through. But Dark cleared the middle. And that's going to give Oliveira a bit of a chance here, I think, to start pushing forward. He's got these tanks sieging up. Dark's got the watchtower with the majority of his army. But he does have army over here as well, quite a bit of it. So he needs to be a little careful. He's fighting with just half a force right now. And look at the amount of tanks Oliveira has. He's up to 8. The army supply is so similar. Dark goes for a counterattack, and I don't think Oliveira is going to be expecting this at all. We might see a little bit of a base trade here. As Dark is trying to hold on with these Roaches and Ravagers, the Bile's going to be so crucial because if Oliveira is not watching for a second, he's going to eat some Biles, and a bunch of Marines just died right there because I think he was focused back at home. The wall's getting busted. This tank and a few Marines is not going to be enough to hold this many Roaches and Ravagers. Oliveira needs to decide. I think it's too late to go back. I actually think he just needs to go. We might be in full base trade mode here, and this is going to be much better for Dark in terms of the base trade because he's already getting on top of the production. Meanwhile, Oliveira is just scratching the outside right now. But Oliveira's army is insanely strong. And if he can take a really good fight and kill a lot of these Ravagers, Dark is not going to have the money to replenish. He's got a decent amount of money, but he doesn't have infinity money. Oh, those Biles have been so good, though. Oliveira's base is just getting absolutely manhandled. Oh, but the Biles! 2 tanks go down. I think he grabbed a medevac as well. And the amount of bio here is just dwindling. It's just a handful. And it looks like it's just 4 tanks and a small group of bio. Oliveira picks up to leave. But what is he going back to? 50 SCVs have died. It's 29 workers to 72. Yeah, he killed a couple of bases, but it was the 4th and 5th base. Meanwhile, his 3rd is routed. His natural is mining a little bit. His main exists, but he just doesn't have the workers. And Dark's going to keep the pressure on. He's still being annoying out here with the Roach Ravager. In the meantime, he's retaking both of these hatcheries. 71 drones, so he can long distance mine, and he's got pretty solid mining. Oliveira is effectively on one base right now. Oh my god, and he is nowhere near this planetary. All these barracks getting put down. One of them's going to die. The second one might even die here. Oh, Oliveira going to try to trap some of these units, but the Biles should cover their retreat. This is looking so good for Dark now. He is up 100 supply. Oliveira is fighting for his life, but he just doesn't have that much money. He doesn't really have the income he needs. It's still decent because he still has that triple mule going on. But that only lasts for so long. He can drop a bunch of mules, but once he's used up that energy, it's going to be a much lower income. And he doesn't have the SCV count to keep up the production. Now, Dark could still take a really bad fight here. There are still... there's only 3 siege tanks. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Dark just needs to avoid taking the worst fight of his life. There's not enough bio to really punish these Roaches and Ravagers for being out of position. Another tank goes down. He's routing the natural once again while still holding this army off. Oliveira not able to get above 100 supply. Meanwhile, Dark is fully maxed. 200 out of 200. And despite Oliveira looking so good today, not just against Dark, but also against Gumiho earlier, against Hero after that. And man, he was on match point. He looked so solid. But Dark, he's got a good Roach Ravager build on this map. And GG gets called as Dark overcomes the lead by his Terran opponent and takes the series 3-2, winning another ESL Open Cup